Welcome to the 2400 Block Podcast with your hosts, Jonnyroobs and Ken.
Here we go again. Facebook Live, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, we are here. We are here and underwear. If you're not wearing chonies, you should because, we're here wearing them. Yes, sir.
Yes, we are, very proudly.
Mine
and it is a Thursday night. It's 5 o'clock over there where you are, 5:15 and 7:15 over here. We're waiting for our guest to show up. Hopefully he will. Let's hope that his camera is working.
You guys see me? The camera is on again.
It does show it's recording on your end.
Well, the good thing about this is that you can be we can act like it's a phone call in.
Yeah, we can just do it like this.
I had a technical glitch when I came in and, we were kind of doing our first for the season. So either way, it's going to be amazing. We know your face is amazing. We know you're amazing. I mean, come on, your last name is Spartan!
Spartan! Yes.
There is a song, and I was, every time we come on, for some reason, that jukebox in my head, and there's a song by Genjitsu. He's I would say a EDM, and the song is called Sparta. So if you get a chance, listen to it.
Okay.
And it's so epic because, and unfortunately we can't play it because of all the legal rights, but
yeah, it's
like a name like Spartan is like having almost like a name like Zeus,
Yeah.
Spartan! That's exactly
I had to live up to that name, trust me. And I think I've done it justice. Listen, you guys, are you recording right now?
Yes, we are. We're actually on Facebook Live just like a minute ago.
Fantastic. All right.
Yes, we are.
I do apologize to your viewers and listeners that somehow my camera is not working, but I'm not bad looking.
We'll take the blame for that, but
yeah.
We would like to welcome for the listeners, for everybody that's in tuning, and please subscribe because this is going to be real. We got Gabriel Spartan! Yes, Sirski. I mean, real deal, Holyfield, different modalities, and you guys are about to be amazed by the beauty of what we should have as parents, but we don't. We get to have this natural failure rate and statistics, but we don't have to have that because we have Gabriel. So welcome, Gabriel.
Ken, I want to tell you something real quick.
Yes, sir.
I was just leaving the grocery store. I was turning right, and I just realized the street that I was turning on was Spartan Drive. So, yeah, definitely the universe has aligned.
I'm not sure if you guys really get with the consciousness, but if you really pay attention, if you do yoga and you go within, consciousness is everything. So synchronicity for me, because I'm a meditator, breath work and all that, it is not synchronicity. Everything today was divine. Everything that's going to happen as a result of you being here, Gabe, is going to be divine. So, again, welcome with all respect.
Yes.
Teachers out there that are watching, we have a teacher of all teachers, Gabriel Spartan.
Oh, well, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much, viewers, listeners. First of all, I do want to apologize for the fact that the camera is not working. Maybe it's on my end or not. I still would like to apologize. And more importantly, thank you all so much for lending an ear and listening to this wonderful podcast that I've been looking forward to for a while now.
You have been
every day we get closer to it. You guys are sending me these amazing messages to make sure that
you're looking forward to it. I mean, you have motivational speakers, you have leaders, you have, yada, yada, the same. But one thing we don't have in this world, and I'm a parent, I have two. I have a 5-year-old in the background. He's autistic, and he's right there on the spectrum. He's just got evaluated a couple of days ago, but it's challenging. So parents don't have an opportunity to get that universally training, relationships either. But parents, of all people that bring people into the world, don't have what we're about to talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
So enlighten them today with who you are and what you come from, Mr. Spartan.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Gabriel Thomas Spartan, and thank you so much for this amazing introduction, by the way. This is one of a kind. I'm honored to be here. I'm grateful to be here with all of you.
Like I said, it's our honor for you to be in our presence, to be honest with you.
Definitely.
I am a 20-plus year veteran teacher of multiple subjects, having taught in the United States from K through 12, all the way to college and university and beyond.
Wow.
The same in China, where I went in 2008. The goal was to be there for 5 years, to expand my horizons, to get to know myself, to push myself, to see if I am as good as I think that I am as a teacher. And so
as a Spartan name, living up to it. Resilience. I love it because that's exactly what the attitude a teacher should have, or anybody, but pushing yourself to meet your own expectations of what you dreamed of. So that sounds like exactly what you're doing.
Well, the goal was to go for 5 years, and then it ended up being 11 years. I came back home after 11 years with a wife.
So, nice. Share the experience.
After the first year that I was there, I rode my bicycle from Beijing, which is all the way up north. Think of New York.
Get out of here.
To Tibet. Which would be like Las Vegas. That's 2,000 miles on a bicycle.
Wait.
Woo.
You said ride a bike 2,000 miles?
Bicycle, yes.
That's like that joke, hey, I just came from China, and boy, are my wings tired. Except you see your wheels. Boy, are my wheels tired.
Las Vegas and Texas that I went to, and I was teaching there over at Texas Tech, it just became too small for me. The world here was too small, and I needed to expand those horizons. After 4 years of having taught here, I decided that if I can't expand my horizons, then I should retire as a teacher and find something else to do because I can't move forward.
That is amazing. Reaching your greatest potential. That's exactly what you're talking about. It's similar to, it's a biblical term. I'm not sure what verse it is. When the water runs dry in the area that you're at, you can dig for the wells, but if it's not there, then keep going to where the water is plentiful. And that's exactly what you did. And that's an amazing actual trait to have, is knowing when to get up and move.
Well, what I did was I bought a one-way ticket. I didn't know anything about visas or passports. It had just happened that my passport had just expired. I had no visa. I called for everything. And I just moved to China and left everything in a storage for nearly 11 years.
Wow.
So I did this bike ride. My goal was to find me, really find the inner happiness and what brings me joy.
Amazing.
More than anything, I wanted to get closer to the spirit of my father. He is the reason that I am the man that I am today. He set the standards for me so high. He died at the age, when I was 7, he was 34 in a car accident. But what he taught me, from what I remember from age 5 to 7, were these life lessons. And the man that he was to me, he was my Superman. He was this godlike figure. He was just the person that I wanted to be like. And today, when I look in the mirror and I say my affirmations, and I know that my father's spirit is with me all the time.
Wow, I'm getting chills because my father, just for everybody, and you're on the 2400 block with Jonnyroobs.
Yeah.
You got Gabriel Spartan and Crazy Ken, what you want to call me. We're talking about a father figure here, and they send me chills because I didn't grow up with a father figure like the one you're talking about. We're talking about a father that was a pimp. Yeah. But here's the thing that would send me chills is that he was a victim of his error, but he was so loved even afterwards, and I found out. So what made this figure? What is your father's name, by the way?
Excuse me. Repeat that again, please. Yes.
No, I was gonna ask 2 questions, but what is your father's name for the
Zachary?
Is Zachary?
Zachary. Zachary. And I just wanted to pay homage to a leader, Zachary. So that's really awesome. So what made him that figure to you?
Well, he was very understanding. He was very calm. The one thing that he never did, the 7 years that I knew this man before he died, that tragically, that he never taught me fear. He never spoke of the word fear or being afraid. If I fell, he made sure that I got up on my own. He never encouraged me even to get up. And I would look at him, he would look at me, and I would stand up. And now here I am at age 45. I have a daughter, 22 months almost. Her name is Charlotte. When she falls down, she looks at me, I look at her, and she stands right up.
Wow. That means that lineage of it's being passed on without words being spoken. And funny enough, that's what I am to my son, mostly because I'm who I am in my military background. But hearing that, it's almost like a last of the Mohicans to have that kind of figure in a world where it's digital and no one's paying attention to anybody and those values are gone. Everybody's just raising their kids and, it's chaos. But for your daughter to actually look at you and know by blood, the fear is not there, Dad. That's awesome.
I don't teach her fear. Now, here's the thing. I may have to shamelessly plug a couple of things because it is necessary.
No, go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am also, as much as I am a teacher, I am the owner of First Time Parent Company.
Awesome.
I built it the moment that I thought of having to expand my family. And then I spoke about it with my wife. Her name is Siren. She's from China, by the way, if you missed that part. So
shout out to Siren.
Siren. As soon as we spoke about it, I started building this company because here's the reason why. For 19 years of my life, since age 4 until the age that I stood in front of a group of students at Bonanza High School to teach them American literature, I dreamt of that day. I lived for that day. I lived it. Wow. I lived that teacher lifestyle until I achieved it. How many times did I fail until I got to that point? The age of 23, almost 24. I failed a lot. I succeeded. I learned, but I never veered from my goal of becoming a teacher and standing in front of those students. And I did that. And that was a goal accomplished. And I'm teaching my daughter today about goals and not being afraid of things and going out there. So when I made this First Time Parent Company, for having lived this incredible lifestyle of a teacher in 2 different countries, multiple states and provinces, I learned so much about being a parent, becoming a parent, being worthy of being called a dad, a father, or Dada, as Charlotte, my daughter, calls me. To her, that's who I am.
That's good, Dada.
As a person. I wanted to share that knowledge. See, the thing is, I never believe in keeping everything that I gain. I'm a different kind of an entrepreneur. I give for free first. My goal was to give 100 hours of the highest quality of educational tools to parents before I refined it to first-time parents and those who are co-parenting. I wanted to give those 100 hours. I didn't know how to do it. The first thing was, okay, let's make the first video for my daughter. And this is 2 years before she's born. I'm making these videos for her, teaching her life lessons. Goal was to make 50 of the highest quality videos, the most educational videos, in case something happens to me, because fathers don't live forever.
Yeah.
And
definitely not.
Right?
Moms out there, we love you, but fathers don't live forever. You heard it here.
So today, I'm working on number 191 and 192 video. And these are almost movies that I spend time on, script it, write it, make the videos, sound effects, and After Effects, the whole deal. So that one day my great-great-grandchildren will look back and go, that guy, our ancestor, did something for us.
Yeah, you know what's funny? It's like the the Rockefeller or the Vanderbilts. Commodore, at Vanderbilt started with his vision of what he, wanted to see for his, for his future in the, the industry of steel and locomotives and everything. But he started something. Then you have the Vanderbilts. Now, although that family has dismantled over time, you are that, and when you speak about fathers, I want to turn it over to JE right now. Like Jonnyroobs is that you are a father figure to your nephew. I mean,
my girlfriend's nephew.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
my girlfriend's 2-year-old nephew, Preston.
Yeah. So I mean, what is your take on Gabe's as as a father-like figure?
I just find that awesome. I mean, his father definitely resonates in Gabe for sure, and then to carry it on to the daughter, oh man, that's amazing.
Yeah, and you're passing on nuggets.
Yeah.
No, I don't think.
And then
it's funny.
And then passing on that message to others. To see if they could follow the same model. Like what he's teaching his daughter, to see if it can be applied to others. And see if it works.
It has gone on since 2 years before my daughter was born. We planned for her first 7 years.
Oh, wow.
So technically I'm on my 4th year of teaching my daughter. I know.
Man. Oh my God, man. You think about people plan to have kids. Very rarely do people plan to have kids. Not only do you plan to have kids, you plan out all the educational information you're going to leave. That's so forward thinking. That is amazing.
And for parents and kids, one thing that was missing is that, and by the way, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. I love you guys.
No, we love you because at the end of the day, there's very little people in the world. I mean, yes, you have people that are parent coaches, life coaches, and everything like that, but the passion, I feel it. Right? So people that go to Lush Codes, I think they maybe did it because they want to help, but the passion behind what you're saying is why this podcast is super important because, a lot of people come to be a first-time parents. They do whatever, the lineages of passing down parental stuff, but it's time to start having a Gabriel Spartan with that kind of passion and drive to build parents that are leading our youth into the millennials after this. You know what I mean? It's not the same as, oh, my parents said this, so we do. No, okay. Those are rooted nice things.
Yeah.
But, it's nice to have very structured things that like you said, your daughter was able to mimic what you did. That's amazing.
Well, the other thing that I did for parents, see, every parent that I meet, they always tell me, where were you when I was having kids? So what I'm
I was about to say that. I wasn't going to say it yet. But
and you told me the same thing because to your viewers and listeners, we just talked just a little bit before we went live was that I teach autism and cognitive disability and physical disability. They're all in one class. We call it life skills. But the thing is, being a father, a husband, a writer, a businessman, my business is interconnected with everything. If one thing is not there, the whole thing falls apart.
Yeah.
I needed to be a teacher of 20 years. I needed to earn the right to be called a father. I needed to write that.
Oh my God. I've never, and I'm a fathers, providers. Yeah. And I go by, I mean, literally everything you're saying is what I do. It's just that I'm being validated by someone who's got a company doing it. Yeah. But earning the right to be a father is exactly what it is, because you can be having a kid that doesn't make you, because this kid is a human being that has personality traits and everything to be them, but it takes a father who's earned the right to do it to nurture that.
And I wanted to give people not just my videos of how my daughter went from thought to where she is today, 21 months going into 22nd month. And I counted by months, by the way. I don't say 1 year. And so I want to count the days and the months and the years.
You're a different animal. You're a different animal.
I wanted to give those who are interested in videos to watch videos. Those who are auditory, then there's the auditory part. Those who want to read text, it's all there. So I created for parents another YouTube channel. This is, by the way, in my website called firsttimemomdad.com. And maybe you guys can put the link there or something to help viewers.
Do that for you.
Life is hard for parents. That's another one. The first one is called Finally, with an exclamation mark. Finally, I'm a dad, like that. So the Life is hard for parents is me telling you one issue at a time. How do I think of what might happen and the contingency plans that I put in place, and then I execute. And then if something goes wrong, I have at least 2-3 other plans how to fix whatever the problem may be. And because I've taught for 20 years, I know, thank you very much. I know all about how to fix issues to a certain point, a lot more than most people. So
I mean, you said it yourself right on the money. Not only did you qualify to be a father, you qualify to be a leader and a teacher, because I always say, is a term, and it's the wisest man knows that he has much more to absorb than most. And you can say, oh, why me and why me? Why not? Because without those things you've had experience, like you said, those cohesive things need to be in place in order for you to be, to have this different verbiage. No one says months. No one says earn the right. No one says all these things. And you're actually the first of, I would say, a new breed of leaders and parenting that are starting something that has needed to be happening since the beginning of mankind.
Well, thank you. And, the other thing that I did, you guys are looking at these books. I wrote 10 books in 3 different genres in 20 months. Oh, wow. Every 2 months. Yeah. And by the way I structured it was, if my daughter as an infant, you see the first 4, that covers her entire first year. Every 3 months, it's a new book. Oh, so nice. The way I wrote it was this. First of all, it's written by Charlotte and Charlotte's dad. I don't want credit. I want her to get the credit, okay? I'm just the side.
That is crazy, because you're right. Like I was saying before, this is a unique being coming, into the world. But yes, it's through your DNA, but this is a unique being. So yes, they are in a way showing you how to get this written.
Well, because look, in our society, we want babies to do stupid things for our own amusement. I wanted my child to be the role model for children that we give credit to and say, these kids are smart, they're intelligent, they're incredible human beings. They will shape our future, but they can't be doing flips and tricks and your cameras on their face and
they're not
iPads in their hands.
Or guinea pigs.
So the way I did it was, if my daughter is an infant, what if she was an infant with the intelligence of a 5-year-old writing her own literature, which is in the form of her own autobiography? I know that's a handful, but that's how
it's actually very, very, very true, because like I said, there's a book by Blair Underwood. It's how, they basically, children come from a different place of information. So they say the darndest things because they literally are pure energy coming into the world. So we think that they should, back in the days it was, be seen, not heard. But you also, in those generations, crippled new blood coming into this world for our own human evolution. So that's not a mouthful. That is the truth.
And the second part, what I did was, first of all, do you see by Charlotte and Charlotte's Dada? So I changed that.
Yeah.
Because that's what she calls me now. She used to call me Dad. Now she calls me Dada.
Sweet.
So I've written 2 of the 4 books so far. That's the first 6 months. And then if you go down, this is our first spring break. I wanted to commemorate that into a book. And then on the right of it, Beyond Space and Time, because I'm an artist, I illustrated that, wrote the story, the whole thing, where it connects her vision of going into outer space and finding Proxima Centauri b, which is an actual Earth-like planet, 7 times the size of Earth. But then as she's going there, she's reflecting on her life on Earth. And that connects her to her grandfather, connects her to her father, and so on, her own lineage, as you said. And then she lands her Starship Hope on Proxima Centauri b, hoping to find something for the human race to go from Earth there so we can survive. And then
That imagination, yeah.
The last two are textbooks for
Okay.
ages 2, where she's learning about time. But it's not her books for her. It's for me to share with all of you that we can do the same things.
Yeah.
Textbooks should not be boring by some company where they want to make money off of you. Look at what,
know, right?
50 pages per book, and I'm selling every one of these on Kindle because everybody needs a little bit of something different. You can't just read A for apple, B for ball. I take my daughter out to the supermarket and she touches the apple and she kicks the ball in the park. Things like
this
that.
Is a man of my heart right here.
Necessary. Thank you. And if you guys go to firsttimemomdad.com, you will see all that, and maybe I'll write it down for you here.
I wanted to kind of go back a little bit to you mentioned autism, and one of the things that's become more new in our world is autism. My son got evaluated, but he's been evaluated for the 10th time, and now through that, my spouse got evaluated and is autistic. Now, what got you into the neurodivergent side of this spectrum?
Thank you for asking this incredible question, because I'm never asked this question. I always wanted to answer it. As I told you with my company, First Time Parent, I didn't want to just help first-time parents, because what about those who are co-parenting? The same reason why
what's happening right now.
Right? The same reason why I became a teacher. I didn't become a teacher for the quote-unquote normal kids or the gifted kids. I wanted to be a teacher. I never specified that I would be one class or one classroom teacher teaching one particular subject. I've taught 5 different subjects in 20 years. I've got multiple certifications and all kinds of stuff. But I wanted to serve the human race. Teaching was about serving.
That's a whole bigger calling, because we're talking about not teaching, because a teacher, and shout out to all teachers, by the way. If we're talking about how we even are here, everything comes from someone who taught it to you. So shout out to you, and all teachers deserve way more than you're ever getting. But shout out to the ones who have evolved into different modalities to create things like this. This is phenomenal stuff that we're hearing.
Because look, children need hope. They need to have faith in themselves, and they need to believe. Okay, just because you have a difficulty now, it doesn't mean it will last forever. It will if you don't work on it. Anything can go away from our bodies that shouldn't be there, or if our minds are strong enough to take us to the next level, you will go. I mean, look, I bought a one-way ticket to China, and then I rode my bicycle, not even knowing Chinese, not knowing the way. I had no job.
Blind faith.
No Chinese phone, no Chinese money. I just stood in front of the parking lot waiting for a taxi, and all I said was hotel. And then I'd find my way. But I wanted to give hope to people that if you believe in yourself, you can look at what I've created with this website. You can scroll down and you can show people that you can write in 3 different categories. You can make 2 different YouTube channels. You can build your company while your daughter is in the hospital in NICU for 11 days and nights. You're working. You have to come home and cook for your wife and clean and plan for the next day, and just sacrifice a few hours of sleep. If whatever you do that you love is beyond sleeping, then you will lie awake doing that which you love, where you serve people. And when you see smiles on people's faces, then it was worth it. For me to fall asleep on the couch with a book on my face when I'm 18 years old, and my mom waking me up going, "Hey, wake up, you've been asleep for hours." It was worth it when I stood in front of my students, 10th grade, teaching them American literature. because all that hard work, 4.5 years of working at McDonald's, and failing in classes, passing, not getting the grades I deserve.
Because it's not about the schooling. It's really about the tenacity and drive. I mean, because schooling is cool, but the attitude behind it is cooler,
Yeah.
And that's what I'm teaching with my company and all this 100 hours of free information, where I have a newsletter, by the way. Once a month I have a newsletter. I write that as well, because apparently I have enough time in 24 hours to do that. Just give people some hope and let them see what parenting is like. Or if you're co-parenting, that it is not as bad as you think, because I'm working with a family lawyer, okay? It took me 71 lawyers to find this one person. I got turned down by a whole lot of them that didn't even care to work with me. This is real monster energy, people. Real monster energy is, and that's the energy I have. I was at the VA today. I was like, we gonna stay here all day until we get what we need to get. I have called many times, and that little what you have is amazing. But I wanted to go back again. I'm not sure if we really expanded on it, but on the autism side, that's a very phenomenal and unique little place to be in this teaching. You know why
aspect.
I did that? And by the way, I do apologize for interrupting you.
It's okay.
This is what we're hoping for, okay? We as hopefuls, we just want to have a family, and we want to expand our family beyond just the husband and wife.
Right.
Let's talk traditional sense here, okay? Not the modern things that's going on. The let's say the husband and wife, okay? Everything is based on hope. You're hoping that this will work. You'll have your son or daughter or whomever, and then everything is hunky-dory. The reality of parenting is really, really tough, you guys. If you really put things into perspective, allow me to be a little bit more blunt and transparent, and I do apologize if anyone is offended.
We don't sugarcoat shit here.
Let's do it that way.
It is what it is.
As men, we basically deposit our semen, okay?
Yeah.
And then we let the woman for the next 9 months deal with it. For 2 years, I prepared my wife for her pregnancy. That's how hard I work. And by the way, the very first newsletter that you will see on my Facebook, read it, go through it. Because it tells you how I mentally prepared my wife, physically, spiritually, for this incredible journey. Now, you think it's going to be 9 months. What if there's a miscarriage, okay? What if your wife falls short of the 9 months? Like with me. My wife was given, like, say, 2 weeks before she was supposed to be induced. All of a sudden, she loses 5% placenta within, like, 2 days. And she was cut off from all carbs, 100% for 3 months or something, because they didn't want to risk her blood sugar. But anyway, as men, we don't know that. What did grade K through 12 teach us? College, university, about parenting, about even holding a child? Nothing. So,
we looked at a frog and you know what? A bean sprout came out because that's cool.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Yeah, you watch The Miracle of Birth, and then you have no idea what happened in 6th grade. So then you're hoping for these 9 months, and my wife obviously didn't get sick because I made sure that she has no morning sickness. I took care of that. But that again falls on the man's shoulders to follow through with this dream of having family. Now, my wife gave birth 6 weeks before she was due. She had a C-section. My daughter went into NICU for 11 days and nights. And every time the nurse said, "You don't have your daughter until you have your daughter." Anything could have happened.
Now we're talking about wordplay, but it's still really real. That's true.
7.5 months, right? And that was it. That was the gestation period. And then she was supposed to just be born. But what if something happened to my wife during birth of my daughter? Something happened to my daughter. Something would happen to my wife. Something would happen to me. I would have probably killed myself because I couldn't bear the thought of my wife even having a C-section. All of a sudden, she is. We're ready for 4 weeks before for everything. And then this happens. And then formula shortage happens.
Mm-hmm.
As men, okay, so for 9 months, let's say you have whatever's going on, and then all of a sudden you're hoping for a boy to bench press with, and then you have a girl, and then you're disappointed. And then
I have a daughter that's 22, and of course men, we want to be able
but
to
look,
rough them up, throw them in the air, and all that.
I made it clear to God, the universe, to my father, my grandparents, great grandparents, and those who are watching over me, that I've never asked you for anything. All I want is a daughter who is healthy. And we picked the name Charlotte. And we wanted her to be born before summer. Now, let me tell you something about the power of the human mind, okay? My daughter was born before summer.
You're getting into my topic right now, neuro.
She was born before summer. We named her Charlotte. She is happy, healthy, and she is safe. But you know what? I had to carry I'd say 98% of the load, and I still do. I keep my family under my umbrella, and I'm holding that umbrella because that's how my father was with us.
Mm-hmm.
And so the power of the human mind is so vast that we don't give it enough thought. We don't give it enough credit, because whatever you bring or think about, you bring about.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look back on everything that I've ever had, the shortfalls, the fails and such, it was all a part of the process. And eventually I got to realize that dream. And my dream of reaching parents, those who are co-parenting, those who have kids with autism, physical disabilities, mental disabilities, I understand you. And therefore my company exists, because there's nobody that cares for parents, I assume. For those who are co-parenting, we don't even look at those people anymore. Or if we ever have.
So for the person listening right now, and they were already like, they were like having that natural thought, hey, I'm just going to do this. And they're listening to you. How would you start a person coming in? Like when I was, 5 years ago when I was coming in, Kaiser's the medical insurance out here in California. Yeah. They have classes on the baby, the placenta and all that, but we're talking about hands-on everyday stuff. Where would you start a person?
Write down your goals. What do you want? When do you want it? And then write down some of the things that might happen along the way and how you would deal with it.
Okay.
Be realistic with your goals and be realistic with your objectives. Don't assume, don't leave something where you're hoping and wishing that it will happen. You make it happen by reading about it, by consulting with those who are good at what they do.
Take them to church, Gabe. Take them to church. Come on. But ownership, people. Come on. Look, if you want a kid.
My goal was nobody raises my daughter but me and my wife. Okay, yes, that was the goal. And you know what? No one comes into our home unless we go to theirs, because I want my daughter to be influenced by us and us only, because she's in the present, but she is the future. She cannot be raised by the past because I'm stingy with my money and I can't take her to daycare where she's learning Spanish and they do hand signs.
American Sign Language.
Sign language, yeah. Right? So the moment that we learned that my daughter is going to be born, I would touch my wife's belly and speak in English with her. My wife started learning Spanish. She started speaking Chinese with me. And then, 3 languages, and she's still in mom's belly, still developing. Mm-hmm. And now we talk to her in 3 different languages in one day, all day, every day.
Because they're sponges. They're gonna, once we're inundated by us, yes, adults that have been damaged and traumatized, we almost in a way tarnished their light. So you're right. They're absorbing.
Credit. Give that little seed credit, because that little thing will have the power to change the world for the better. Because my father believed in me to do the same thing, and I'm doing that for people. For those of you that are listening, this may be a little bit too heavy for you, or you may not think that it's so
they can
real
rewind
because you're
over
not
and over and
parents yet.
over. They can rewind
It's
because it's a
tough,
lot.
tough being parents, and the services that I provide for you, that is for 100 hours of free, but the highest of quality of information. Please go through it with a fine-toothed comb. Look through it. Let's be realistic about things and talk to me. Okay, I'm not as expensive as you think I am. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a doctor. So I'm not a psychologist.
Damn it, Jim.
Therefore, I don't charge you those. And I'm not a mediator because, there are those who are co-parenting, and I work with a court system. They just want a quick fix. I'm not that guy. You have to understand, you're peeling an onion. It is going to
Now,
require
do
some
you
work.
actually coach those that want to have a kid but are in different
Mhm.
states, whether they're one wants to or one doesn't want to, or they do want to but they kind of want to make sure that they're doing the right things coming into having a kid? Do you kind of go on that as well?
There's more people that are planning on having a child who talk to me than those who already have one. Because here's the thing. If you already have one and you're talking to me about things that are going wrong, now we're working on damage control.
Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right.
If
Because
you
they didn't have a Spartan before we started. It was like, okay, well, I guess we're going to do this.
yeah, you're going to do this, but you got to prepare 2 years before your child is born. Um, think of how you will educate this child, how this child will grow up, who will take care of this child for the first 7 years. And I go through that. Right now, I just made a coupon on a Groupon for you guys, and I'll put that up one day soon, sometime this week on my website.
Now, are you in that light to mention prices right now, or you don't want to give it away and let them just fill the information before they're thinking about prices?
Look, I want you to look through the information that is provided to you, because I am a man who has years of knowledge and experience. I'm not just a teacher. I'm not just a parent. I'm not just a writer. I'm all these things, and I apply these to my daily life. And I have been for a long time. For me to do all of this and be a parent and have time to sleep and continue to improve on my product in 24 hours, yeah, you would have had to master a couple of things in life.
Now, I wanted to kind of, get Rubes' take on this, because he has a long-term relationship, and I'm not going to give it all away from him. But what is your take on all this, Gabe? Rubes, looking at a man who has forged himself to be a leader in the parenting thing. What is your thoughts on this information, my friend?
Oh man, I gotta admit, dude, it's overwhelming for me, because yet I'm not in the situation that you guys are in, but I'm just listening to all the advice that you guys are going through, and just hearing you guys out, especially when we talked earlier, Ken, about my day to day. Just hearing you out, and then you just filling on my situation. It just
exactly.
it just makes my situation more lighter, especially when I talk to someone of your caliber.
And I think that was exactly what Gabe's idea is, to make the light of having a child lighter, because it is a major responsibility to be in charge of a human and their destiny. And although my son doesn't think so, and he knows everything, he knows that even though I'm trying to boast, dad knows, and he's going to just let me fail, but he's going to be there. So the other thing I wanted to really touch on before this, time, is co-parenting. I'm in that place right now where I would say, unfortunately, because we're, two that loved each other for so long, and we have the ADHD, the autism, the bipolars going on. It was a big trifecta, and we split really because of the mental health issues. How does co-parenting work in that capacity? I'm just going to take the hardest one, which is mine, in that capacity. I'm not going to say anybody else is not, but co-parenting, let's talk about that.
Okay, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, I just felt so bad that there was nothing for those who were co-parenting, that my company wouldn't exist with just first-time parents. I needed this part to complete the whole company, because I couldn't just give to half of the world while the other half is suffering. Now, nobody really understands co-parenting. No one talks about it.
At
This
all.
is what happens. So when I talk to my sister, who's that's what I call her. Her name is Ashley Burkett. She's a lawyer, family lawyer, and she's an award winner too. She's incredible. And we built that part of it together. With my vision and her hard work, we sat and we said, how can we make the lives of those who are co-parenting? And she goes, well, this is where I excel. Okay, so work on taking these classes, these co-parenting classes by the court system that people are offered. So I took those classes and I said, I'm confused. I learned nothing. She goes, that's how every client that is being referred to by the court system feels the same way. So this is what happens. The two people split.
It's raw in that
they're
court.
fighting over the custody of the child. They go to court. They don't consult with a lawyer because they think the lawyer is too expensive, and that is true. So then, therefore, they're appointed a mediator, which is what I'm working on as well, because I need to get to know people more. Now, the mediator can charge any price they want to for however long that they want to, and you're just going to have to pay the price. Or I'm the better alternative, where I'm not appointed by the court. I can be. The court system has my number, by the way. They forwarded a bunch of people to me. But I'm not.
Technically, if you were appointed by the court, it would be very biased.
Yes, now I have to do paperwork, versus when I'm a coach, I listen to, by the way, if I'm co-parenting, the mom and dad, they will see me on 2 different sessions. They will not be together. Because now we're talking. And nothing you say will be passed on to the other person, because everything is confidential, obviously. We're keeping it professional. But I want to talk to you, and I've got questions specifically for those who are co-parenting as to what is going on in your life, the first session. And how can we build on that? How can we improve upon that, where the two of you get along for the sake of that child or children? Okay, where when you're in a room together, you are a cohesive unit working towards the better future of your child or children, versus looking at one another and going, I hate you, and the other person says, I hate you. And now the child is learning. If that child is a sponge soaking up everything that you say and you do, and you're not aware of it, then be aware of it. And I teach you awareness.
Would you say that those attitudes, and this is what I believe, because we're really children at an older age, because of this word, or 2 words, childhood trauma. Now, I know you're not an LMFT, but would you be able to agree that the reason why that's happening is because there's issues that haven't been addressed, is the reason why you present that kind of stuff in front of your child?
This is what I say. First of all, I agree with you. The mother and father will always be the mother and father of that child or those children, right? You agree? Whether you're together or not together. Yep. Therefore, you have to at least be able to tolerate one another, to communicate with one another, not talk at each other, not talk with each other, not scream at each other, but communicate with one another. And if you look at the services that I offer for those who are co-parenting, and you see the first-time parent on my website, it's one of those. The communication is key, is the key element to your child's future. That kid's still learning. Now, this is what I say. You're co-parenting, but now that child has 2 loving homes.
Yes.
And 2 loving parents.
Yes.
And once upon a time you loved each other. Go back to those times when you speak with one another today. Go back to those times where you actually tolerated one another, loved one another, cared for one another, because you still do. I'm not saying that I'm a marriage counselor and I want you two to get together and all that.
You're actually, I'm going to, pause you for a second.
Yeah.
I mentioned LMFT, and that's a licensed marriage family therapist.
Yeah.
And then there's all the different ones. There's social workers that are clinical. But we're talking about grassroots, someone who's been through it, planned it. Let's just say what it is. You're a visionary. And that's what I am too. So if you're looking at the aspect of, co-parenting, and I've gotten to a point where I've been through so much, and this has been my third relationship, unfortunately, is that I wanted to end generational trauma by saying, hey, if we're going to get into different relationships, we need to vet the people we're getting with so we don't have this separatism with families. We actually are building a full network so our spouses get along, we get along, children get along, and we build a bigger network. Is that kind of what you're actually driving towards with your
Definitely.
idea?
See, I'm all about family.
Okay.
When I sit at the table with my family, I want those people who are co-parenting to be sitting with their families too, or
Okay.
those first-time parents. I'm still visualizing that, and I'm hoping for that to happen. Yes, I would love for you guys to get back together and all that, but that's not what I'm going for.
It's not
All I
realistic.
want
Yeah.
is for two adults to think of the greater future for your child or children, where you're the best examples for that kid or those kids, where they don't see trauma, they don't see two people hating one another, but they see two loving parents who care deeply about one another in a way that they also care about the child at the same time. And then nobody is displaced in that family. Not
Yeah.
one person is more important than the other. And I teach people, look, don't talk bad about the other person with your child, because now you want to favor yourself towards your child more than the other person, the other parent.
Be the
How to
example.
talk, how to
Absolutely.
speak with your child, what things you shouldn't say, what things you should say more of, the language with which you speak is necessary, that you use those words, the
And I'm gonna
vocabulary
give
is
I'm gonna give
important.
some factual information for everybody because I understand child development very well.
Yeah.
Children are human recorders, and there's happening in the womb. So what people don't realize is that's why I say they underestimate children. They've been recording since they're the womb, and they're recording, especially in the 0 to 5 stage,
Yeah.
everything you're saying and doing. And
Yep.
if you think they're doing something bad, guess what? You're the one, and everything around them is teaching them that. So
Yep.
it would be
One
who
of
of
the things
you
that I
to
say
have
to,
a Gabe or to iron out whatever trauma you have, because like you said, if you want to have a child that is going to be fruitful after this breakup, then everything that you had irreconcilable differences about doesn't matter anymore. What matters is this human you brought into the world that, yes, you may have to go as deep as vetting each other's spouses that you get with for that to be happening. So you don't have anything that is going to deviate from that.
I want to say something here. You said something very important, and I want to add to it. Is that I've heard of some of my clients where they tell me, well, if the first 7 years is the blueprint to a child's life, you always keep saying that, then I'm going to start the day my child is born. No, you can't, because now the child belongs to the mom more than you, and the two grandmothers are hovering over mom and over the baby.
Right.
You are going to be laughed out of that room because you can't implement your manly plan
Kevin
the
Hart
day of.
style.
No, you start.
You
This
gonna
is
learn today.
you're going to learn that you're not important.
You're
Okay,
not
you
important,
help
brother.
to create the child, but they will take care of the kid because, well, honestly, again, I want to be a little bit more blunt here that you don't matter anymore. You did your job. All you
Right.
need to do is go hunt and kill and then bring that home.
Also known as a sperm donor, guys.
So
Mic drop.
this
I don't
is
mean to say that, but yes, technically your job's over once you. But it shouldn't be. That's why we have a Gabe
But
Spartan
this
here.
is what thank you. And I tell people this: when you 2 years before your child is born and you make that plan for the first 7 years, and by the way, there's a lot of specifics in that. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to plan. Where do you start, right? And that's where I come in and I help you and I guide you, because I can't talk about all that here. It's just the time is too limited and there's too much information and you probably won't understand it. But it's one at
Right.
a time, peeling the onion. So I tell you, 2 years before you plan for the first 7 years of your child, because first you need to have this amazing circle of people around your wife, where if you're not there, that they will be there for her and they will take care of her. She will be happy and healthy and safe.
Which is also known as your circle of influence.
I took all the dark people out. I took everyone with darkness in their hearts. I told them goodbye. See you later. I will come to you when I need to see you, but until then, this is a goodbye. Because look, I want my daughter to be influenced by the best people that I know that they can be the greatest influences on her. And that's me and my wife, first of all. Second would be the circle.
Gabe, I want you to be my dad. I'm serious. I'm like, oh my God, this guy should have been my daddy. Seriously, I mean, you have literally the blueprint that I thought of myself, because I've taught myself everything I know. I didn't have a father, but everything you're saying is what I have been doing my whole life. And how, I mean, God, if this was passed on from me through you, I mean, not only where were you as a parent, coach, where were you as a father to me? Because everything you saying, I had to learn by the bootstraps. So it doesn't have to happen that way no more. If you have something like this.
No, because I've made it not only accessible to people, but more affordable than anything. Because I sat with this family lawyer, my sister Ashley, and we spoke about what is right. You know, I'm not going to be the kind of person to say, "Hey, give me this many thousands of dollars because I need to buy myself a new Benz." I care about humanity more than I care about material things. Yes, of course, I want to make a living and a nice one, but the goal is not my pockets. I didn't become an entrepreneur. I took the entrepreneurial oath of humanity to serve all and to be there for all versus becoming a rich person and investing in real estate. That was never the goal. What is the goal? Right. And I say that to myself every single day. I look in the mirror multiple times a day. What's the goal? What's the goal?
And the goal basically it's like having a vision, mission. Is you're constantly updating the vision, mission, and those statements, because it's not static, it's dynamic because things are changing. But we're coming up on the last 4 minutes. What do you want our viewers to take from this mainly? I mean, because this is a lot of information, we want. I mean, I know for sure that I see myself coming through this. And what I want to say is there like a time frame and an ongoing maintenance thing that you have going on with this?
Can you be a little more specific? I'm not sure I understand.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is, what do you want the viewers to take from this at the end as the meat coming into your website, and of course give them the websites again and social media if you have it.
I do. It's all on the website. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I want you to do. Don't take this parenting profession lightly. There isn't, as much as you think that there's a lot of stuff out there for parents, most of it is repetitive. And they're quoting one another. And it's mainly by women. I'm not downplaying the fact that women shouldn't have this. They deserve it. They bring life to this world, and I love them for what they've done. But from a man's perspective, you don't see a lot of fathers going above and beyond to give more to this world as parents, as fathers, as father figures. I just wanted people to have what my father gave me and what I'm giving to my daughter, to all of you, because I became the man that I am today because of my father, and my daughter's becoming the person that she is because of me and my father, and of course my wife. But the goal here is give credit to your children. They are the future. But if you don't know where to start, consult with somebody that knows more than you. Right. Because you don't want to go into cleanup mode. Right? You don't want to be the person that says, "Oh man, it's too late," or "Where were you when I was having a kid?" Well, talk to me now. Don't assume I'm expensive. Don't assume I'm not affordable. Don't assume that I charge too much. Stop assuming and start talking to somebody.
You make an ass out of yourself when you assume.
Let me be the first step to help you. Okay? But don't be the type of person that dares me. "Hey, I dare you to help me." have a good attitude about parenting, come to me with a pure heart and a mind that wants to absorb everything, because my company is more client oriented, where I ask you questions and I try to get the best out of you. And if you don't know, then I will guide you. But I will make sure that you answer the questions according to the way you're supposed to, because apparently you have a plan to become a parent. Hopefully you have a plan to become a better co-parent if you don't talk to me, because I'm in touch with professionals. I've been a professional myself. So
when I was asking my questions, I snuck the one with the time frame of your coaching. But I wanted to expand on that before we close out here.
Yes.
When we're starting this, is it like if you're talking about teaching a K through 12, and then I have a maintenance coach is this a long-term thing, and you're expanding to where you have somebody maintaining this with them?
So this is what I have. I have two different services that I provide. For example, for those who are interested in becoming first-time parents, I offer an 8-session parent coaching clinic where I talk about our first meeting is free, and then 8 sessions about parent coaching clinic. And then I check in with you every single week. And at the end of it, there's a culminating project that we have to do together. Okay?
Oh, wow. Homework.
Yeah. Hey, I'm a teacher now. Come on.
He's like, oh, my God, there's homework? You want me to do homework?
But for those who are co-parenting, I offer a 5-session co-parenting coaching clinic. We talk about feelings and emotions, communication, attitude, co-parenting, scheduling, and then conflict management. Now, should you want to go further and ask me for more help and get my services, you're absolutely welcome to. But I keep it to those 8 and 5 sessions because sometimes people just don't want to go further than that.
Gotcha.
And that's okay. So that's sort of a baseline for people. But if you want more conflict management, of course I'm available. If I'm not, I will make myself available to you because you're important to me.
And now you said that all your social media and all your information for everybody that wants to look at this a little bit further is right on your page.
Yeah, it's called, the website is called firsttimemomdad.com, and I put it up there. Not mom and dad, firsttimemomdad.com, just one word. And then
I see the Instagram on there and Facebook.
Yeah, then you will go to a First Time Parent Company. You will see our expo. We did an expo at the Las Vegas Baby Expo. I got to talk and everything. It was pretty phenomenal. But I have the expertise necessary, and I'm talking to professionals that the world of parenting is a lot harder now because of all the gadgets and devices that are out there. We can't just let children be with such things. We need to give them what we were born with, with love and respect and kindness and attention. That's all children need. They will get all that later on in life.
I believe the children are our future.
There you
go.
Well,
I wanted to thank you so much. It's been an honor, a pleasure, and a privilege. Because just like you said, you got to earn the right to be a father. We had to literally, at this point, earn the right to listen to this great information. So with that said, thank you for being here, Gabe.
Spartan!
Take us out of here, Jonnyroobs.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching this episode of the 2400 Block Podcast. That's my boy, Ken. I'm his wingman, Jonnyroobs, for the evening. I usually do the talking, but Ken is my homie. So, and we got the Spartan in the house tonight. So we're very, very grateful to have Gabriel Spartan here tonight, representing First Time Mom and Dad.
I'm checking it out for sure.
Yeah, me too.
Co-parenting, I'm definitely checking it out.
Thank you guys so much for having me. This was a blast, and I hope one day I get to come back and do this again.
Yes, and I hope your camera works this time.
Don't hope, my friend. It is absolutely happening because this is the thing that I thought about when I was at Kaiser. Like, what about the actual parenting that's going to happen? Like, so please don't forget to subscribe. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook Live right now. And we are having a real conversation about pairing. So stay tuned for another one. Peace.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thanks for checking out this episode of 2400 Block Podcast. Don't forget to follow and subscribe.